Stroke is New Zealand's second single biggest killer and the leading cause of serious adult disability. It's predicted that every year over 11,000 New Zealanders will experience a stroke. That's one person every 45 minutes. What's worrying though is that the number of people experiencing a stroke has increased by 24% in the last 3 years, with a projected 40% increase over the next decade. Sadly, over 2,000 Kiwis die of stroke each year. You know, that's more deaths than breast or prostate cancer. The economic cost of stroke to New Zealand is estimated to be $1.1 billion this year, with the figure projected to increase to $1.7 billion by 2038. We are working to tackle these issues. The Stroke Foundation is our only national charity solely dedicated to the prevention of and recovery from stroke. For over 40 years, we have actively promoted ways to reduce New Zealanders' risk of stroke and dedicated ourselves to working closely with stroke survivors across the country. Let me introduce you to some of our vital services. We have 29 Community Stroke Advisors, or CSAs, working across the country. Those CSAs work with stroke survivors, their whānau and carers to achieve the best possible outcomes for recovery. CSAs discuss and develop a plan to meet the survivors' needs and how to achieve their goals. They provide support, information, advice to build knowledge and skills. They liaise with stroke clubs, community and recreational groups, and they network in the community to ensure stroke survivors, their whānau and carers are getting the best possible services. We've responded to over 5,500 stroke survivors in the past year through the specialist service, and we've provided 38,000 hours of support.
I was 31 and I had some mini strokes, but I didn't know what they were. It took about a year for me to walk again after my first stroke. It was so scary because we were on our own. None of us knew what we were doing, and my baby was 18 months old, so my thing that made me walk again was my kids, being there for my kids. And then I had the big stroke in the middle of the night. But this time I was told about the Stroke Foundation. Having Paula with me just made me feel great. I felt like we had support. I felt like we just had someone to rely on and give us knowledge about things that were available to us that we didn't know about after the first stroke. She made a real difference.
Getting back to work after a stroke can be an incredibly important part of a survivor's recovery, both physically and emotionally. Our Return to Work service provides that expertise and support to guide stroke survivors through the process of returning to gainful employment. This free service is available to stroke survivors under the age of 65 in the Greater Auckland and Christchurch regions. Of the 210 stroke survivors who've joined the program this past year, including 111 new clients participating for the first time, 45% have successfully returned to work.
The hardest thing for me was accepting the fact that I wasn't going to go back to work until I was more healed. And Rochelle she helped me through that, I think because I was really wanting to go back to work. I was really worried that they wouldn't hire me because I've had strokes. So I think it's really fearful of being rejected. Rochelle just said to me to be honest with them about what I can and can't do, and a stroke doesn't define who you are. I felt great when I got a job.
Three-quarters of strokes are preventable. So we'll continue our vital awareness campaigns and health promotion programs, continuing to work closely with medical professionals to save thousands of lives. We have a dedicated health promotion team who raise awareness of stroke risk factors and promote the many ways to reduce these risks. You may recognise our fast and big blood pressure check campaigns. The team also have dedicated resources and programs for priority groups including Māori and Pacific communities. I hope this has helped you gain a better understanding of the effects stroke has on New Zealanders and New Zealand. We also hope this helped you understand the work of the Stroke Foundation, our critical services, and the outcomes achieved thanks to our supporters. I ask you to consider partnering with us so that we can work to further reduce the risk of stroke and improve outcomes for stroke survivors in our country. Together, we can support the health and well-being of all New Zealanders. Thanks.